Ah, what a beautiful day. Hey, Mario?
Yeah, I agree. Eh, Meta Knight?
I agree. Hey, Ludwig? Ludwig?
Dedede, I have a question. Could you please review another Sonic game?
You mean like Sonic 2?
Yes, that would be perfect.
Well, consider it done. Nice doing business with you. Today on King Dedede Reviews, we're going to be reviewing Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Before we get to reviewing the game, let's look at the box art, which gives me a better time than any to talk about the Sonic box arts. They were created by Greg Martin, who has done box art on other famous games such as DuckTales and I think a few Mega Man box arts. Honestly, the way that he draws Sonic is alright, and Tails as well. However, there's one glaring issue about his box arts, and that would be Dr. Robotnik. For some strange reason, American media, as well as some British media, likes to portray Dr. Robotnik as some black-eyed, sinister, mutated, egg-shaped monster. Whereas in-game, that's clearly not the truth. Well, enough about me rambling about some sort of Kintabor blah-blah-blary. Let's just get to the review of the game. I can't stand to look at this thing any longer. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for the Sega Genesis, sequel to Sonic the Hedgehog. Is this game better than its predecessor? Let's find out. The storyline for this game is that after Sonic defeated Dr. Robotnik on South Island and restored the Chaos Emeralds back to the Special Zones, he decides to go to West Side Island, where he meets a curious little fox named Miles Prower, who's nicknamed Tails due to his two tails. The two become best friends, but soon they find out that the friends on West Side Island are being turned into robots. There's only one villain who would be capable of doing something like that, Dr. Robotnik. He's at it again, and he wants to find the 7th hidden Chaos Emerald on West Side Island in order to launch his Death Egg. It's up to Sonic and Tails to stop the Mad Doctor before he launches his Ovoid space station. When it comes to the gameplay in this game, it's largely similar to Sonic 1, although it's much faster. And to add to the quickness, you're able to do something called a spin dash, which, in order to perform, you must press down and keep pressing the jump button, and you'll rev up a whole bunch of speed. Not only that, but you've got a computer-controlled pal following you. That's Tails. And if you've got a buddy, your buddy can play as Tails if he wants. You got your jumping, your running, and you've got a whole bunch of power-ups such as the monitors, the rings, and you've also got the special stages. Once again, these special stages are not my thing. You go down a pre-rendered half-pipe, and it's pretty hard to do, honestly. It's a lot of trial and error. But if you get all 7 Chaos Emeralds, you can turn into Super Sonic and get the true ending of the game. Graphically, this game looks better than its predecessor. However, it's not by much. But it still does look really great. Speaking of really great, the soundtrack is awesome, just like the originals. In fact, the soundtrack's even better than the originals. Not the best in the series or anything. That goes to a different Sonic game, but we'll get to that game whenever I review it. While the graphics and music have both gotten a step up from its predecessor, so has the difficulty. This is a hard game. You will most likely not beat it on your first try. So finish those acts as quickly as you can, supersonic speed, so you can get a continue. During Sonic and Tails' adventure across West Side Island, they'll go through 11 different zones. The first zone is Emerald Hill Zone, a quick, hilly area of which it's very nice for practicing your spin dash. The Chemical Plant Zone, where Dr. Robotnik has engineered Mega Mac to drown Sonic and Tails. The Aquatic Ruin Zone, where it's just as it sounds, an aquatic ruins. It's a pretty fun area, if I do say so myself, but not as fun as the Casino Night Zone. Oh, I love this area. I don't know if I have a gambling problem, but this game, this game is where I can just get my gambling addiction out. I get a whole bunch of rings here, and I get a whole bunch of extra lives, and we got a couple more zones. So, the Hilltop Zone. It's, well, the top of a hill, and there's lava, apparently. So, wouldn't this be the top of a mountain or a volcano? Next is the Mystic Cave Zone, which is a nice little area full of boxes. Yeah, it's really weird why there are boxes. Is this a storage area? And a mystical cave? Well, I mean, it's mystic for a reason, I guess. Oil Ocean Zone. Alright, listen. It's not the most memorable in the game, and as a matter of fact, I'd probably consider it, out of all the zones, it's probably my least favorite, but it's still pretty fun. I mean, it's an ocean full of oil. Dr. Robotnik polluted this place. Like, it's a cool setup, but I don't know, the music here is kind of weak, the level design isn't too amazing, and, nothing really to write home about. But it's nowhere near as bad as the worst of Sonic 1. As a matter of fact, I think all the zones up to this point are really fun. In typical Dr. Robotnik fashion, he's at the end of every zone, waiting to pummel you with a new attachment to his Eggmobile. The first zone has him in a drill car. Looks a bit menacing, but really it's even easier than the Wrecking Ball in Sonic 1. The Chemical Plant Zone boss, he's supposed to drop Mega Mac on Sonic and Tails, but you can end up cheesing this boss fight. The Aquatic Ruin Zone, he has these totem poles that shoot arrows. Gotta use those arrows, dodge them, jump up there, and keep on bopping Robotnik. Casino Night Zone is where you essentially need to play pinball. You gotta hit up into Dr. Robotnik's cockpit and avoid the little spiky bombs and the electricity. The Hilltop Zone has Robotnik in a submarine shooting fire, and it's easy. Mystic Cave Zone has Dr. Robotnik in a drill attachment, which can be kind of hard to avoid the falling stalactites, which it's not too hard once you get the hang of it, but it's still kind of challenging. Oil Ocean has Robotnik in another submarine, where he'll fire a tentacle out at you, one of which will try and stab you, and the other of which will try and fire a laser at you. It's pretty cool. The spoiler section is coming up, but this game is just a year younger than its predecessor, so I'm pretty sure this isn't needed, but spoiler alert. After Oil Ocean Zone, Sonic and Tails make it to Dr. Robotnik's base of operations, the Metropolis Zone. This is the hardest zone yet. Not only does it have crushing gears, some of the most nasty badniks that Robotnik's ever made, but it's also got lava. Thankfully, the boss is just Robotnik surrounding himself with miniature balloon versions of him, and he'll fire a laser once those are destroyed, but it's pretty easy. Afterwards, Tails fires up the tornado, and Sonic and Tails go to the Sky Chase Zone. Here they chase after Robotnik as he goes to the Wing Fortress Zone. After a small section of destroying badniks and watching the Wing Fortress Zone, Sonic manages to storm the Winged Fortress Zone. Sadly, however, Tails isn't able to help him out because the tornado gets shot down. So, it's up to Sonic and Sonic alone at this point. Here is a tough level. However, it's nowhere near as tough as the boss here. It's a giant laser, with Robotnik just laughing as the laser tries to kill Sonic. Sonic has to jump on the spiked platforms, making sure to jump on them and not into the spikes, so then he can hit the laser. Once it's been defeated, Robotnik will run away to his airship. Thankfully, Tails repaired the biplane, and now Sonic can hitch a ride on Robotnik's craft to go into the Death Egg. The first thing you'll notice when you get to the Death Egg is that there are no rings. So, all you have to do is walk to the right. Well, Dr. Robotnik has been planning on this, and so he sends out his newest creation, Silver Sonic. It's pretty easy once you get the hang of it. All you gotta do is bop him in the face and nod on the spikes. Afterwards, Robotnik flees from Sonic, which is kinda strange how Robotnik's quicker than Sonic. But whatever. But he jumps into the hardest boss in Sonic 2. The Death Egg Robot. Not only do you have no rings and have to fight this boss, but it's very tricky having to maneuver against Robotnik's giant mecha version of himself. You'll have to jump into his cockpit, but make sure not to jump into the spikes on his hands. Whenever he jumps up, make sure not to get landed on, and make sure to dodge those hands. He'll be firing them right away. After a whole bunch of hits, the Death Egg explodes, and Dr. Robotnik's Death Egg crashes. Tails sees the explosion in the sky and goes to help Sonic. Sonic falls to the ground, but thankfully is saved by Tails. And that's the ending of Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for the Sega Genesis. A great ending for a great game. In the end, Sonic 2 improves upon some things from the original and also makes its own problems. I'd consider it a better game than the original, but that's just me. Anyways, this has been King Dedede, and I'll see you in the next review.
He's gonna review the game that I want him to next. No, he's going to review the game I want him to next.
Hey, come on now, what are you two fighting over?
Well, I want you to review a game, and I want you to review one as well. The games are